Hi guys, my name is Sylvia Mack. I'm the founder of Love Disfigure. I am also a child burn thriver. Now you're probably wondering what the hell does that mean? So basically a thriver is one up from a survivor. So it means I survived something, and a survivor is one up from a victim, which means you survived being a victim. So let me just show you something before I continue. So my scars are on my tummy, they go down my leg, they go up my sides. Let me just turn around and show you, cover my back. They go right up underneath my breast, which means that bras never fit me. And then I've got like scars that run all down here, which is why all this happens as well as having a fat tummy, which I don't even care because I've had 3 children. Anyway, so today I was listening to a video by a celebrity, and I'm not going to tell you his name, but he spoke about self-sabotage, and I thought to myself, really interesting, because everything that he was talking about seemed to relate to my life. And like over the last few years, I've campaigned to raise awareness for people with visible and hidden differences, such as scars and skin conditions and skin differences, health conditions, anything that affects a person's appearance, like on the face or body. Because clearly my scars are on my body, and they have affected me all my life with depression and anxieties and suicidal thoughts and all of that, the low self-esteem and the confidence. So so going back, like, I realised that self-sabotage was relatable to me and my life, and I also realised that it was something that many of us go through in our life and we don't really think about it. And then those that suffer with self-sabotage or self-sabotage themselves, if that makes sense, they don't know how to get out of it. So I thought, now that I am out of it and I've been campaigning for 3 years and I've changed my life positively, I need to like address this. I need to talk to you and just see how you feel about this. So basically, when I self-sabotaged, it began at probably around the age of, let me see, 11. And 11, 12, 13, oh actually a little bit older than that, maybe between the ages of 11 and 13, because when I was younger, I always remembered being, my mum used to treat me like, I'm like the youngest of 5 girls, 5 daughters, and my dad was a very stern, hard man, kind of get on with it kind of style, and my mum was very cuddly, loving, and she still is today. She's still with us, thankfully. And so everyone used to say, oh, I was spoiled and everything, and I was very happy, chatty young kid, and I just really loved life. Like, I used to, I knew that I was special and I was different, but I used to think I was an angel, a gift from God, a miracle child, and all of those things. I used to talk to the moon and the stars and the sun, and you know, I'd walk up, and I was a bit of a dreamer as well, and I just loved me and loved life, like up until about the age of probably 11 to 13, when I began swimming for a local swimming club because my other sisters had swum, and my dad was the one that put us into swimming. And I realised then that people were staring at my scars on my back. Now, this was the first real incident that I had to make me feel crap about myself, basically, and trying to figure out how I can stop them from staring. So I used to have to put on a little act where I used to like just either cover up myself with a towel or wait till everyone was in the pool, and then I'd go and get in the pool. So I had loads of different techniques that I knew how to get around that, to stop people from seeing my scars. So I had to do that and had to deal with that myself. I didn't want to talk about it to anyone. I just told my mum I need a big towel. I need costumes that cover my back, my scars, and that was it really. So I just got on with it. And then when I went into secondary school, on the very first day, we had PE. It was one of the first lessons, and we had to take everything in with us, like everything. You know, when they say bring your hockey sticks and bring your knee pads, your shin pads and all of that, you had to bring everything in. And so this particular day, I took everything. It was my first day of school, and I had my towel and all of that. And this teacher said, okay, we're going to play hockey. So we went out to play hockey. We had to put on these short shorts that I don't like, because then my scar on my leg was being shown. And so that was the first time that I realised that, oh, don't want anyone to see like the scar on my leg. So I used to literally walk around like that, covering it. Every time I'd done sports, PE, I'd cover my leg. And then when we finished playing hockey on that particular day, that very first day of secondary school, she told us all to go and shower. And I thought, no, I can't shower. She said, take everything off, put your towels around you and come into the showers. And I really didn't expect that to happen, and even my mother didn't expect it to happen, especially on the first day, because she said, no, you won't have to shower. No, never. And yeah, we did have to shower. And then when we had to like line up to go into the shower, and she was literally like just pushing everyone into the shower. She was really hard, really mean woman. And as I got up to her, I said to her, please, I couldn't explain that I had scars, I just wouldn't do it. And she just ripped this towel off me and pushed me. And it was that moment that I had to think, oh dear, everyone's seen it, and that's it now. No one's gonna like me. And strangely enough, people were not talking to me, and I wasn't really gaining friends after that. And I couldn't understand why, like at first. And then I thought, it's because of my scars. They know I've got scars. They think I'm ugly. They don't want to talk to me. But later on, I actually found out that another girl had said to me, once she became my friend, and she was really nice, she said, oh, the reason we didn't talk to you is because you seem stuck up. And I said to her, me, stuck up? What do you mean stuck up? So she went, because you've got a very long nose and you look stuck up. And I just thought, what do you mean? Like, so you could have a very long nose and look stuck up, no one wants to talk to me. So that was just one like incident, well, two incidents there. So there was the swimming, and then there was a school shower thing. And it was from then that I began to self-sabotage, and everything just went downhill from there. I began to well, I had the moments where I don't like to look in the mirror in front of people, especially in school. I was scared of relationships. I didn't want to get into a relationship. I just thought, you know, nobody would want to date somebody as ugly as this body, as me. And I just didn't feel worthy of relationships. I didn't feel worthy of success. So in my job life, like, I would actually go to a job interview, but I had no confidence. I'll stand outside, then I'll bugger off back home and say, oh yeah, it went really well. But it never did. When I decided I wanted to go to university to maybe create a business and learn about business, I had to oh God, I had to stand up, give a presentation in the class, but I couldn't do it. So I ripped up the presentation and walked off, went home and never went back. And I just had so many constant struggles throughout my life where I was self-sabotaging everything that I did, from school to work life to relationships to just everything in society. I was the kind of girl, I got so angry with society that I would literally like be waiting at the bus stop, ready to get on the bus somewhere home, I don't know. And if anyone looked at me, I'd ask them what they were staring at. I turned into a really nasty person. And but there was always this other person in the back behind me, ready to say, "You're all right, actually." But I just couldn't pull that person out. Like it was difficult. Like I just had such a lack of belief in myself, and I was like self-destructing, really. You know, and I think what I needed to do was just kind of try and remedy my inner self, and it was, how was I going to stop that? So I think what I needed to do was really start watch what I was thinking. And people say about self-talk, and I always thought, well, I still think self-talk is when you talk to yourself in your head, but my self-talk seemed to be with just a bad person, and I wanted to find the angel, that good person that could just like say, it's all right, it's okay, you're going to be all right. And I just couldn't pull that person out, and that was like my inner self. I couldn't pull that inner self out. But you can actually find that inner self, you can find that inner person. It just was such a shame that I'd spent 30, 40 odd years just hating myself and self-sabotaging. And then I realised then that I needed to really stop being negative. And I think what I needed to do was really try and find, one, positive people, two, people that will really listen to me and understand me and give me some good feedback and say, you're okay, you're going to be all right, it's normal, it's okay for you to feel like this. And I never really had that. I had great family support network, like beautiful family, really strong, loving, caring, everything that you could have. But we were a family, and I wasn't ready to talk to my family, so I'd rather just attack them and be really horrible to them, and then later on cry all night. And that was the kind of thing that I did. So really what you need to do, and what I needed to do at the time, was really surround myself with positive people. And I know that sounds like easy, but it's not really that easy, because we can get caught up with friends and people that are just want to talk about negative stuff all the time and not really be helpful to us at all. We could end up getting into relationships where we're controlled, and we can't really take control of that because we're just not strong enough inside. And it was a lot of being critical and really like blaming others. Like that was something that I really did a lot of, you know. And I don't really know how to treat people properly. Like I really didn't really know, and I needed to learn that. And it was just really being like kind to people and showing love. And the way to stop self-sabotaging was really to address what was behind me, what was behind it, what was causing self-sabotage. And it was about looking deep into my past and looking back and actually going, okay, so that's where it happened, that's when it began, and that is why. And then once you can learn to communicate with yourself again, you can then hear your inner self, that voice from within. You start to hear it, and it's like you feel like nothing inside is being heard. You feel like there is just this bad, negative person that is just going to continue going on in your head, and you think that's it and there's no help you can get, but there really is. I mean, I didn't know there were support groups out there. I didn't know that. I didn't know that there were positive people online. I didn't know that. I didn't know that I could find friends that would be nice and talk nice about nice things. Like, it was almost like I'd gone into this downward spiral and I just couldn't pull myself out. Like, I used to remember thinking that I was going down a hole and I couldn't get out of this hole. So it was really although it was a struggle, it was important to just try and find myself again, just being able to control it and stop it before it all got fired up, basically, because it was just like a load of chaos. I was chaos, my body was chaos, my head was chaos, and I really needed to find ways where I could stop that from happening, whether it was finding mentors, whether it was getting help from the GP, because I think a lot of us worry that we go through these channels where they say, all right, well, perhaps you should seek some help. You can get some help from these people and they'll, talk to you regularly. I had that. It didn't work for me. Spoke to my sister sometimes. It didn't work for me. Spoke to my friend. That never worked for me because she was just like 100% like a negative Nelly. Like, she just did not want to be nice to me. She was one of these friends that was just mean all the time. And I really don't understand why. So really, I think I enjoyed like the madness of it all, and then when things happened and when things went bad, it was like the next day I would feel really upset, and I'd realise what I'd done, and I'd realise and how I'd messed everything up, whether it was in a relationship or whether it was job wise or whatever. It was something what I did regularly. So you know what, truth is, I didn't know how to behave back then. Like, I didn't. In the space of 3 years or a little bit longer, I've learned how to behave, and I've learned how to be positive. And once you know where you're going wrong, you can learn to control it. Like, you can, yeah? So what you got to do, you develop a program, you can get mentors, you can change your patterns, and you will see the negative. You see it as an inner voice, like just wanting to be heard. And this is what's important. It's something you got to remember. You have an inner voice and it wants to be heard. Let it out. Let it be heard, okay? Don't push it away. Don't suppress it. Let it come out and let it speak. Let it say what it has to say, because you know what? The voice that is in your head, if it's not working for you, then it's not the voice you want to hear. You want to hear that inner voice, okay? And that inner voice can also be confident. It can be positive. It can be everything that you've always wanted, everything you've wanted in life. That inner voice and that inner self there is what will get you through, will carry you through to become successful, to become confident, to raise your self-esteem, to stop you from feeling depressed, to stop you from having anxiety and panic attacks, to stop you from having suicidal thoughts. This inner voice that carries that the positivity is what you need, and it is what will stop you from self-sabotaging. Thank you for listening.